Morning, y'all. Good morning, wherever you guys are at, all over the world. Australia, probably good evening. Overseas, probably good evening, or it's already nighttime over there, maybe. It is 2:30 in the morning here in the great state of Texas. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Doing something a little out of the ordinary today. A little bit, something a little different. What's up from Brooklyn, Jacksonville, Florida, up in here. Yeah, I'm doing something a little different. I'm not doing I guess, OTR, regional, whatever load. I'm doing a local, kind of local. Yeah, local. So I'm usually not up at this time. Well, I usually don't get up to go to work at this time. I do. I am a night crawler, though. You guys night crawlers, you guys like driving at night? I love driving at night. Nighttime is for me my favorite time to drive. Some drivers swear up and down they can't or they won't drive at night. Man, it's just so much easier that way. Clinton, hello. Jay, you do? You drive at night? That's what's up. Morning, Scott. What's going on in your neck of the woods? But yeah, I don't know. I've always been a night driver. Like, since I can remember, I've always loved driving at night. I'm how can I say it? I am definitely not a morning person at all. And when I gotta get up early, I just can't sleep the night before. I don't know why. But I'm not a morning person. But if I get up like around 10 a.m., I could drive all night, 100%. Oklahoma. Oh, you're going to Oklahoma, to out of Oklahoma. That's what's up. Because I'm headed, I'm headed to the yard now, but I'm going to go from Houston to a little town named Palestine, Texas. Not Palestine, the country, Palestine, Texas. I don't know, man. That would be cool, though, to go to Palestine, the country. I mean, be kind of scary, but go see the world. Yesterday I had something pretty exciting happen. I went and applied for my U.S. passport. So yes, we're gonna start traveling here soon. At least do 1 or 2 trips this year for sure. But my goal is to go travel and ride with one of you guys out there in the world. Show everybody how trucking is in other places of the planet, not just here, because we have it easy compared to a lot of places. I mean, I've seen driving in Mexico and El Salvador and stuff like that, and it's a little bit different. Aha! I see you, Mr. Popo. Mr. Popo chilling in the dark, waiting for somebody to get his first meal of the night or the day. But we're chilling, doing hands free, pay attention to the road, kind of. But yeah, I'm gonna go. So I was pretty excited about that, about getting applying for my passport. It's gonna take about 6 weeks for it to come in, and making sure he's not back there. Take 6 weeks for it to come in, and then be ready to roll. Go see the world. There's got to be more than just what's in your surroundings. I guess I would say there's got to be more out there to life. Go meet all kinds of different people. I was surprised though. Last time I went to El Salvador, I remember I went to El Salvador, country that I'm originally from, in let's see, like like 2004 or something, when things were really still really bad over there, with crime and stuff like that. And I remember the trucks I was seeing back there only was just a bunch of old, raggedy, old trucks. I'm not gonna say just raggedy, because everybody takes pride in their trucks, and they do. Even though they have an older truck down there, they still take a lot of pride in it. But older trucks, a lot of older trucks, and a lot of the trucks that are retired here in the United States are taken down there to these countries, to El Salvador, Mexico, what have you. And they, for us, it's the end of the road for them here, and these are beautiful roads. And for them, it's a beginning of a second life down there in those countries, and the roads are pretty bad. The roads are pretty terrible, and they make them work. They make them work one way or another. They make them work. But when I went back 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, I was noticing a bunch of new trucks, a bunch of brand new trucks. Some trucks looked even better than some of the trucks we have around here. They're built a little different for those countries, because they have to be a little more. I guess their suspension. There's some of them. A lot of the newer trucks down there don't even have air suspension. They have the old spring suspension, because it has to be that way. And plus, they load these things up with over 80,000 pounds all day long. Even the old trucks, climbing up mountains and going down mountains and all kinds of craziness. So I was surprised that I thought I was going to go see a bunch of old trucks in El Salvador. That's what I'm getting at. And no, there was a lot of new trucks. There was some old trucks too, but there was a lot of new trucks. Mexico too. You guys see a lot of Mexico trucks probably here in the United States. You probably don't even notice that they're Mexico trucks, but if they have double plates, most of the time, if you look at the truck and there's 2 license plates on the front of the truck, 9 times out of 10, it'll be a Mexico truck. I don't know about Canada trucks being that way, but I know Mexico trucks are that way. And if you see half the trucks that those guys bring up here, there are some really nice trucks. So, but anyways, I want to go to different countries and show you guys the life of a trucker down there. How they deal with stuff. It was funny because about 5 years ago, I went to Mexico and with a friend of mine, and I was talking to this guy that he was like a manager at a trucking company. And I asked him, I said, how hard would it be for me to get a trucking job down here? And he's like, we probably wouldn't hire you. And I'm like, why not? He goes, because down here, a lot of the drivers, you have to be a full mechanic and a truck driver at the same time. And which I believe him, because I was in McAllen, Texas one time getting loaded, and these 2 guys showed up in a Mexico truck and did a whole brake job right there in the parking lot. Just 2 guys, because a lot of times they ride in twos over there, because of they do straight hauls, no stopping. So those 2 guys got out of the truck, took the tires off, they had it jacked, they had everything, and did the whole brake job, put it back on. In a couple hours, they were ready to go. And I was like, wow. Not saying that I couldn't do a brake job myself. I'm sure it's not. I mean, it doesn't look very hard. I am somewhat mechanically inclined. I like to keep a lot of tools in my truck just in case something that I might be able to fix and keep on going down the road. But being a full mechanic, I am not at all. But these guys, that's what he told me. He said you have to be a mechanic to be able to drive these trucks down here, because it breaks. There is no roadside assistance. You gotta know what you're doing to fix it. You gotta get to a place to be able to get the part, to be able to come back to your truck and then fix it yourself. Some of these guys do full end frames on the side of the highway. I'm sure that's how it used to be here in the United States back in the beginning of trucking. I'm pretty sure there's some old school drivers here that still remember those days, but there's not many. I guarantee you there's not many. There's some that won't even touch anything on their truck. I have a friend of mine, and I'm not going to say his name because I don't want upset him. But I have a friend of mine that has 0 tools in his truck. I mean, 0, not even a screwdriver. And he's an owner-operator. That's what's crazy. He was telling me the other day, he's like, hey, something was wrong with the light was messed up or something, I don't know. And I'm like, why don't you just change it? He's like, well, I don't got no tools. What you mean you ain't got no tools? You gotta have the basics at least. Crescent wrench, a pipe wrench, a socket set, a couple screwdrivers, flathead, and a Phillips head. I mean, you gotta have basics, I would think, but that's not a fact anymore. I probably got 200 or 300 pounds extra on my truck on just tools alone. So I mean, I don't use them much, but when I need them, bam, they're right there. But yeah, guys, don't forget to hit the like button, share the live if y'all can. I really appreciate that, to get this out there so we can have a conversation, or so y'all can just basically listen to me driving a plane. Really, I don't know about really having a conversation, because I got to pay attention to what we're doing right now. But yeah, those are the plans in the future, to be able to do something like that. That's why becoming a U.S. citizen was one of the reasons it was so important, because I wanted to be able to travel the world, and my dad left that he ingrained that in me when I was, ever since I was a kid, that just to travel, go see everything. Go see as much as you can. You can't see everything, right? But go see as much as you can. Talk to as many people as you can. I have family members that they work and go home. That's it. That's their life. They don't go out anywhere. They don't go out to eat anywhere, which is cool. I mean, going out to eat is very expensive, and bellies like this happen. But they don't go out anywhere. They don't do anything. And to me, it just kind of blows my mind, because I'm just such a free spirit, I guess. It just likes to be everywhere. It just blows my mind that somebody would live their whole life not ever experiencing anything other than their job and their house. A lot of them are just their job, their house, and church. Their job, their house, and church. Their job, their house, and church. That's it. For years. And yeah, I'd go berserk. I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I can remember. You guys, those of you that are a little older, do you guys remember riding on the back of pickup trucks? When they allowed us to ride on back of pickup trucks out here on the open road? Well, one of my trips that kind of ingrained that whole traveling thing into my head was a trip that we did. My dad, my mom, and my sister and I. Ooh, that was proper. I had to break some brain cells on it describing that. But anyways, we went from Houston, or from the little town I was from, Huntsville, Texas, to LA. And we had a Nissan pickup, a little Nissan hardbody, if you guys remember the Nissan hardbodies. 2-door. Not extended cab, just a 2-door Nissan pickup, 5-speed. And it was in the winter. It was in December. Yeah, it was in December, because we were going to do Christmas out there. And we put a camper shell on the back, and my mom and I were in the back of the truck. And Dad and my sister, because she's older than me, so she, was helping him like navigate, reading maps and stuff like that to get from Texas to California. Because some would say, okay, we'll just get on I-10 and put it in the wind, right? No, you would be wrong. At the time, I wasn't even legal. My parents were. My dad and my mom were already legal in the United States. My sister and I were not, because we hadn't been able to get our papers done yet, our paperwork or whatever. So what we had to do, if you guys are truck drivers, or if you're not a truck driver, if you drive I-10 from Texas to California, right before you get to El Paso, there's a immigration checkpoint. So it's basically like if you're going into Mexico, kind of, but you're in the United States. And then east of Las Cruces or west of Las Cruces, there's another immigration checkpoint. So that's the reason we could not go through I-10. So what we did is we went up 281 and then up across like the Panhandle of Texas, in through New Mexico and all that stuff, going up north that way. And that particular time, it was super cold. It was super cold, and I remember it was so cold that we had a layer of ice on the inside of the camper shell, and my mom and I were covered up with all the big old covers that we had, and we still got freezer burned, or like our faces were red. We had a gallon of water that turned into a solid piece of ice, and but if we wanted to go to California, that was the only way. We had to go around. So that's the story that's just stuck in my head, that just always wants me to, makes me feel like I want to go explore and go see different things. So and after that, we traveled a bunch of other times. We became legal here in the United States, and then we were able to travel all over the United States. But that's like, as a trucker, what is this? As a trucker, all that experience helped me out. When I transitioned to a trucker, all that experience helped me out of being out and learning how to, because I learned how to read maps ever since I was a kid. Because my dad, funny thing that he used to do every weekend, because my mom usually worked, every once in a while he worked Saturdays. Saturday or Sunday, my dad would wake me up and we would jump in his little pickup, because he had Nissan pickups forever, and we would just go hit the back roads. We would go all over the back roads here in East Texas, and he would give me the map. I have to read the map on how to get different places. We never really had an agenda exactly where we were going. We would just drive. My dad would just drive, and that was one of the amazing memories that I had of Dad as well. Those of you who don't know, my dad passed away of colon cancer last year. So that's why I keep saying, referring to my dad about that. But anyways, what's another thing he used to love to do? So we lived in Huntsville, Texas. You can look it up. Huntsville, Texas, and then the closest major city was, of course, Houston. And it was, I don't remember how many miles it is. A little over 50 miles. Yeah, it's about 60 miles from Huntsville. But every Sunday we would go to Houston. Every Sunday, for as long as I can remember, we would come to Houston to buy groceries, because the food that we knew was only sold at certain stores in Houston. A grocery store called Fiesta. They had the food that we would eat in El Salvador, so they would come up here to buy that stuff. Now, all grocery stores basically have an aisle with different ethnicities or whatever food, so all that's easy to get. But we used to drive that round trip every single Sunday, as long as I can remember. So that's how you can see that that's why I can't stay still. I'm always wanting to go places, and that's what really drew me into trucking. Like, I never ever came to trucking because I heard, first of all, I didn't know anybody that was a truck driver, and I never came here for the money, because I didn't know that you even could make good money out here. And so that's what really got me into wanting to become a trucker, because I'm like, hey, I can go travel and get get paid to go see the country. It's like, how is that not like, you know, like an awesome deal? So that's what I did. That's why I got into trucking, because I wanted to go see the United States, and I wanted to see as much as I could. And I've seen a lot. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I've seen everything, but I've seen a lot. Seen a lot, been to a lot of places. Every major city in the United States except for San Diego. That's the only city in 22 years of driving that I've never been to. Weird, huh? But I've never been to that city. Other than that, been to every city in the lower 48, major city. I've been to every state in the lower 48, of course. Met a lot of amazing people throughout the years, though. I don't really have any regrets of driving a truck. Should I stayed in school, and should I've looked for maybe a different path? Maybe. I wanted to be an airline pilot. I could have seen the world then, right? But a little too late for that. They say it's never too late for anything, but there is some things that it's just too late. Being an airline pilot is on that. But the next best thing was to just become a truck driver and go see the United States. But I am to the point where I've seen mostly everything here, and I want to go see more. I want to go see more. And with that U.S. passport, well, I call the U.S. passport the key of the world, because you can pretty much go in any country with that passport. So I'm excited about what's coming, what's in the future. But yeah, y'all getting bored of all my yapping yet? Let's say yes or say no. Oh man, stories, man. I got a lot of good stories with Dad. So many good stories with Dad. For those of you I hadn't seen, good morning, Irvin. Good morning. Am I getting my hazmat? I've had my hazmat. I've had my hazmat for 9 years. 9 years. I pretty much have because I just went and since I became a citizen, I had to go update my license and my social security card and everything, right? So I went to the driver's license DMV to get my update my stuff, and the lady, as she told me, she's like, "Wow, you have every single endorsement that you can have on a license, from driving from a passenger endorsement to doubles and triples, which I've never done, hazmat, I have my motorcycle license, pretty much everything that you can get as far as like a regular license." So yeah, a friend of mine told me one time, he said, and that's why I ended up getting my doubles and triples. And because he told me, he said, get every endorsement that you can, because it just opens you up for so many more opportunities. And that was 100% true. And he said, go get your TWIC card to be able to get in and out of ports. And back then I wasn't even thinking about going in ports. And I ended up getting my TWIC card anyways, and now I use it. So like all this stuff, if you can get it, if you have time and you're not doing anything at home on one of your days off, and you only have the regular CDL, it doesn't take you nothing, and they're very simple, except for the hazmat. The hazmat is a little hard sometimes. But all the other stuff, doubles and triples, tankers, all that stuff, go get it, go knock it out. knock it out. You ain't gonna spend no time there to do those tests. I know in Texas they're like each one of those tests is like 10 to 20 questions. That's it. Um, the hazmat one, no, it's hazmat. What's 100 questions? I don't remember. The hazmat's a lot more. That one's a lot more. That one's more involving. I mean, as it should be. Plus, you got to get background checks and all that stuff for the hazmat. But get as many endorsements as you can. Why not? You got nothing to lose. You trying to move out of New York? Come to Texas, huh? Come on with it. We got some room. We got plenty of room. It's like everything, bro. If I'm gonna be honest with you, it's like everything. Certain things, it kind of all evens out, really. Cost of living is probably way more expensive in New York, but you guys probably get paid. Y'all's wages are higher as well. I don't know 100% about New York, but I know California. I got family over there. Ooh, somebody broke into that tractor place. Bunch of cars over there. I know in California, their minimum wage is way higher than it is here in Texas. And some people get discouraged when they come here to Texas. They're like, "Oh man, your minimum wage is only what? I don't even know what it is anymore. Like 8 something." And like we can't live like that. But the cost of living, the house I live in, is a 200, about $170,000 home, and in California that's really a $1 million home, to be honest with you, or at least a $500,000 home for sure. So yes, your wages are $5 more an hour than here, but how does it really balance? How does it really balance out? But I mean, I've been here all my life, so this is really all I really know. And you can make it. You can definitely make it. If you're around a major city, you're gonna be okay. There's a lot of good jobs around the major cities. Everybody and their grandma's grandma is hiring. So I mean, for you to get a job, the people that don't have a job here are people that don't want one. Period. People that don't have a job here in the United States, really, all the way across the board. You don't. If you can't find a job, it's because you don't want one, or it's because you want that specific high-paying job that you're not qualified for, or that you haven't taken the steps to get there. Pretty much. So you moved from Pasadena up to New York? Or no? Oh, hold on, that's a different person. My bad. My bad. But anyways, where do you live? If you moved from Pasadena, let's see, from Pasadena to Beaumont. Oh, okay, gotcha. You're in Beaumont now. That's what's up. I worked in Beaumont Well, I worked out of Houston, but I would run sulfur. I would run sulfur from one refinery to another one, basically. And it was only like maybe a 8-mile run back and forth. So what I would do is that, because I live from Beaumont, I live about 2.5 hours away. So what I would do is I would go work over there in Beaumont my 5 days. Then I'd stay in the truck. Then I'd come home for my days off. So yeah, I know a little bit about Beaumont. Not, I don't really like it too much as far as the city, but as far as work, there's plenty there because there's a lot of refineries in Beaumont. There's a lot in Houston too, in Pasadena, where you're from. But there's quite a bit over there in Beaumont as well. And if the money pays, we'll go to work. If the money pays, if the job pays, we'll go to work. Yeah, like I live an hour and 20 minutes away from my yard. So our yard is in LaPorte, which is right next door to Pasadena, as you know. Irvin, you work for Martin? Do you work for Martin Transport? The reason I'm asking is because that's who I used to work for. I worked for them for... Actually, that was my first hazmat job. Tanker hazmat job. Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, I worked out of the Baytown yard. Oh, Steve's old B donkey's rear end. Put that two together. Steve's an idiot. That's all I can say about that. But yeah, I worked for them for 4 or 5 years. I liked it, man. I liked it as when we were doing crude oil, I loved it. Then I went to some over-the-road shit. Over-the-road stuff. And I hated it. Then I came back and did the sulfur. It paid well if you did a bunch of them. And I did okay. And then I left. I got into, wanted to become an owner-operator, so I left. And I hated Steve. So... he is a corporate guy. Yeah, he wears some very nice knee pads. Very nice knee pads. That's what Steve is good for. That's all he's good for. With his lame jokes. He's got the most lame jokes that anybody could tell anybody. Yep. But yeah, I mean, I liked working there. The benefits were amazing there. Some of the best benefits I've ever had. And when I quit, 2 years later, I received a check for like $2,000 for that share, that money, that stock thing that they had for us. And then like a year after that or two is when they went through that big lawsuit, and I ended up getting another check from them because they were hiding money from everybody. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, as far as the company, I loved it. I'm not going to sit here and talk mess about Martin Transport. They gave me my shot. Steve didn't, but Martin gave me my shot. And that's how I am right here where I am right now. I cannot say anything bad as far as that. Benefits are great. The work was okay. They rotated new trucks a lot back then. That I've noticed it not as much anymore. I've noticed a lot of the older trucks still. But back then they were rotating trucks all the time, so we were always in a brand new truck, brand new Mac. A brand new Martin custom Mac, which basically means as stripped down as you can get it, because that's how we want it. with only one fuel tank. But yeah, that was yep, that was one of my stepping stones to where I'm at now. Martin Transport. If any of you guys are thinking about getting into the chemical business, it's a good company to start with. And well, you can come over here and start with us at Hennef. So it's another good company to start with. I've never been a company driver here at Hennef, so I have no idea how that works. But there's a lot of leasing options, and there's a lot of options here at Hennef that you were never going to have at Martin. But as far as like a beginner company that's pretty decent, I would definitely say Martin, and here at Hennef. Why not? Woo, that's strong. We need a little more cow in there. Yeah, guys, if you're just joining, we're just yapping. We're yapping while I'm on my way to the yard. If you want to hit that thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. Help us get out there a little bit. Share, like, subscribe, you know the whole spiel. Man, I have a video up right now, and I don't know if you guys are from that video. That's how y'all showed up here. The 4 seconds, the 4-second video, where supposedly I'm 4 seconds away from the car in front of me. Man, people get very upset about that video. That's the only thing they hear about that video, the 4 seconds. They don't see anything else happening in the situation. It was like a whole situation that I was in. They don't know those short videos. It's the only thing I don't like about those shorts. That you can't really explain a whole video. I think I might do a whole video on that one little short, because there was a lot going on, and at the end of the day, and I took some blame on what happened, of course. But a lot of people were very upset and were calling me. One guy just commented not too long ago, I am the reason that trucking is bad. The trucking is terrible. It's my fault. I mean, I'm one of the reasons why. Like, okay. You've never been, nobody's ever gotten in front of you and have lessened that gap. So basically that's what happened on that video, and I never really explained it 100%. So I was in Arkansas. The little Toyota SUV had gotten in front of me not too long before I started the video. So of course the gap was shortened, but if you look at the video, there's nothing for a while ahead of me. Like, there was a lot of room. There was a lot of room up ahead. And that little SUV got in front of me, so it lessened the gap. And then there was a semi right behind me. I mean, like, he was right behind me. And there was another semi to the left of me. So, I mean, I got put in a situation that we all get put in every single day. And there are a lot of people are like, the Smith system. Yeah, the Smith system works when there's nobody on the road. Like right now, there's nobody basically on this road. There's a car in front of me that's 2 football fields ahead of me. But during regular hour traffic, like that particular day too was like right before Thanksgiving, so there was a lot of people traveling as well. So there was a lot of extra cars on the road. And a lot of people crying, the Smith system. Hey, you use the Smith system, but it doesn't always work. The Smith system is best case scenario. But reality is you have to keep your eyes open and pay attention to everything around you, because things change on a dime. And just like that semi that was parked on the side of the road that decided to not build up any speed and get on the freeway and put us all like in a spot, you know, which if you look at the video, that truck kind of didn't have a choice either. But if you pay attention to the video again, he was parked right past an off-ramp. Like, he could have gotten off the off-ramp and parked on the shoulder on the off-ramp. Personally, if I have to pull over all of a sudden like that, I'm going to find an on-ramp. I'll get off, and then I'll go on the on-ramp, and then I'll stop there and do all my stuff. Because usually on-ramps to freeways, people aren't completely hauling butt yet. But when people are coming off the freeway, they're going pretty fast. So ideally, I like to do that when there is no truck stop in the area. But this particular truck, had just passed an off-ramp. Like, why didn't you go there? If you had an emergency, you had to get out, you had to use the restroom or whatever, and then put us all in danger, because the reason he couldn't build up too much speed either, because there was a bridge up ahead that was kind of, the supports were kind of a little closer to the road, so they were kind of sticking out a little bit, but still. I blame for. Whew. I've turned that video off, and I've turned it back on, and turned it off, turned it back on, because unfortunately, YouTube and all these social medias love drama. So when there's drama going on a video, they put it out there. That video has over 250,000 views. Over 250,000 views is what that video has. Why? Because it's drama. And every other video that I've had go viral, semi-viral, like the video that actually helped my channel grow, was me getting pulled over by a DOT officer, and actually me filming the whole interaction with the DOT officer. That video has over 500,000 views, and it was like a 20-minute video. That's what puts everything out there. All the bad stuff is what puts you on the map. If you do good things in any of this social media, you're not rewarded by social media for that. You're only rewarded for all the bad stuff going on. So that little video, just like that little short, just like it's gotten me a lot of people saying a lot of bad stuff, it's also brought a lot of subscribers over. So one for the other one, I guess. If you want to grow your channel, you got to kind of leave it up there and take the punches. Because that's what a lot of people don't realize, that it was my choice to put the video up. I didn't have to put the video up. Nobody would have ever known anything. But if you put the video up and everybody learns from it, everybody gives constructive criticism, because there's been a lot of people that have given constructive criticism, not only getting on to me, but just talking about the whole situation, because we were all at fault. But some drivers, and a lot of times they are the worst drivers, they're the first ones to point fingers at you. Oh, you did this, you should have done that. If you've been driving any period of time out here, you've been cut off a time or two. I've been put in the same situation a time or two. If you haven't, you don't drive a semi. Period. And I'm sure that's the way it is all over the world. People always cutting us off. But yeah, that's unfortunately the video that's making its rounds right now. Whatever, I'll ride the wave until I fall off. Now about 20 minutes from the yard. Now, here in the Houston area. Highway 59. Headed south. But yeah, I mean, my goal is my goal on with all these videos, man, really is just to give a little bit of information on my experiences out here and act goofy and make some of y'all laugh. If I can get one smile a day from somebody that's having a bad day, I will take 1,000,000 people talking mess to me. That's my goal, to make somebody smile. And if I've done that, I feel accomplished for the day. Sometimes we all need that. I know I do. That's why I watch social media and people. I like watching people that make themselves look goofy on social media, but it's because it makes me smile. You know, I'm having a bad day. And that's ultimately my goal. My goal here with you guys. Oh, man. El compa. What's going on, el compa? Yeah, they must not know they're outlaw truckers. Well, these ISO drivers are already out here this early. It's early in the morning. Or not ISO, the container drivers, container haulers. Hoping to get to my truck before I start training. It's supposed to be 100% chance of rain today here. Yay. Well, for all of you that have been here and are here, thank you for being here. Thank you for hitting that like button. Really appreciate that. Thank you for tolerating my chit chat, my chatter. As I take my stroll to work. But yeah, guys, what neck of the woods are you guys at right now? Well, Jay, you saw that video I was talking about? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I might have, well, see, another thing that a lot of people don't realize from that video is that it is way zoomed in. From my dash cam, it's way zoomed in. So that kind of messes up your vantage point on really gauging how far I am from the car in front of you, in front of me, plus the long-nosed truck also. But yeah, I agree with a lot of people. I was at the beginning of the video, before all the slowdown. I was probably around 3 seconds behind that car, I guess, if you wanted to look at it that way. It became a lot shorter, of course, once things got congested, you know, whenever that truck jumped out. And of course, I couldn't slam on my brakes because that truck that was behind me. So, but yeah, I mean, I took blame. I took blame as well. People don't hear that last part of the video where I'm taking blame. But oh well, if that's their impression of me, then whatever. So be it. Yeah, I mean, some people are just like that, Jay. You know that. Some people just point fingers at everybody else and don't pay attention to themselves, I guess. But I mean, yes, I do have blame in that video. I do. I mean, I am man enough to say that I do, but not totally. I take partially blame in that. And I know my company watches these videos. I know the company I'm leased to watches these videos. And to me, it's like a learning lesson for everybody to see and to kind of tweak a little bit what we do while we're out there on the road, keeping our eyes a little more peeled, a little more paying attention, and it's a learning. It's something to learn for all of us to learn. That was the main basis to that video, was for people to learn and kind of make adjustments to their own situation. Because I don't know about you, Jay, but have you noticed a bunch of trucks lately they've been pulled over on the shoulder? Like for me, the past probably the past year or two, I've noticed a lot more trucks pulling over on the shoulder. It could be the trucks need a regen, but even if a truck needs a regen, you can still keep on moving long enough to get to a safe place. Then you could say, okay, it's a blowout. The truck, you can slow down the truck enough where you can continue going till you get to a safe place. Unless it's steer tire or you're driving super singles. Then you're dead in the water. In that situation, 100% totally understand that you got to pull over on the shoulder, and that's as far as you're going to go. But in other situations, or your drive shaft fell off or something, something major, engine blew up. But obviously that truck in that video, the engine was not blown up because he was getting back on the freeway. And if it was a regen, he could have pulled over before, like on the off-ramp, like I was saying. Before that. So, but yeah, 100%. I take partially blame on that video. And if you go back, there's a bunch of videos that I post because I want it to be a learning process for all of us. And they're videos that I've made mistakes. I mean, it's just that's how we all grow, by seeing stuff like this. Because I've learned a lot from truckers and from different people that aren't trucking, and that I've learned a lot from people that actually post videos of anything. I mean, not just, a lot of people just post the good stuff that happens on the road, but there's a lot of bad stuff that happens on the road. There's a lot of situations we are in out here that people don't realize. Because the only reason I know that people that drive regular cars watch some of my videos, and I'm glad, because they get to see our point of view, our perspective of the road, and point of view, and everything that us truck drivers go through. So I'm glad that we have people that aren't truck drivers. I prefer to have people that are not truck drivers to watch these videos, because they get to see us as for who we are, for the actual person that drives a truck, and for all the junk that we go through on a day by day. So they can become better drivers themselves and not be jumping in front of a semi that could take them out, with the blink of an eye, somebody's mistake. But The reason I know that some of these people are watching because a lot of people on that video as well, excuse me, were talking about four-wheeler like they never saw a four-wheeler. And only us that are truck drivers know what four-wheeler for us means. It's a car. And a lot of people were like, I don't see a four-wheeler. I never saw the four-wheeler. I sat there and watched the video over and over again, looking for the four-wheeler. Like, no, a four-wheeler is a car. Just like a cop is a bear. A scale is a chicken coop. I mean, this, our radio lingo, our trucker language. So, it's I was laughing. I was amused by those comments, because it was like, man, people really don't know that cars are, that we call cars four-wheelers. Can you imagine just sit there looking for an actual motorcycle four-wheeler? Alex, what's up, man? What's going on? Soundtrap, what's going on? I ain't heard from you in for it's been a while. Where you were, you say, Alex, you're gonna be going through Willis? Hey, we might slap mirrors here, because I'm gonna be heading north on 45. Been blessed with sleep, huh? So in your 1.9 million miles, you've never had a front blowout. Wow. That's awesome. Man, I don't really... 22 years. Hey, we've got about the same amount of miles on it out here. 22 years at 100,000 miles a year. Yeah. Probably a little less for me, but I got about 1.8, 1.9 million miles. Wow, that's a lot. Jeez. No wonder my rear end is flatter than who knows what. Jeez, I'm shaped like the seat. I'm sure y'all didn't want to hear that, but dog just had puppies. What kind of puppies? Yeah, Alex. Gonna be right in the storm for a while. Unfortunately, it's about to rain over here. It's been drizzling on and off here in Houston. Hey, Alex, you gonna get that drone or not? Have you looked it up yet? Done your research? You're welcome for that visual. Oh yeah, more than that. Oh, that's what's up. But, oh yeah, talking about steer tires. I've had, knock on wood, one steer tire blowout. That was at Martin Transport. I was hauling a load of crude oil, about to take a ramp, and as soon as I started, right before I started my turn, my front tire blew out on my Mac, and it took the whole headlight, grill, everything off. I wouldn't say it was scary as far as like the truck didn't like pull to one side or anything. because I think I kind of just handled it okay because I just let off the gas or the accelerator and just let the truck slow down on its own. But the only thing that scared me was watching the headlight blow up in a million pieces and look like a bunch of glitter, just blew up in front of me. And then I pulled over, and it was good. But yeah, I've had one. Don't want to have another one. But drive tires, or trailer tires, it's about 20 a year. It's nothing to be proud of. Just stopped to knock out. That's what's up. Headed home. That's what's up, Alex. Damn, man, you got 2,000 miles on your XP. That is awesome. That is awesome. Electric bike is it's only got 290 miles. So after I made a bunch of those videos, I kind of quit riding it. And I won one. I won a black one that I made a couple of videos on. And actually, the last short that I made was with my son and I riding. We went riding, put a bunch of lights on them and stuff, and we went riding. And that's why I've gotten back into them. I've bought a bunch of stuff here lately to get back into riding them again. And because my son is actually now he's big enough where he can ride one. Not old enough, but big enough. And I gave him the black one that I won. I actually won that one from a YouTube channel. A guy that reviews a bunch of electric stuff like e-bikes and even like electric cars and stuff like that. He had that giveaway. I entered the giveaway. I was wanting to buy one. I entered the giveaway before I bought one. I was like, what the heck? If I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. Just like any other contest on YouTube, right? And I bought that one, the white one. And then 10 months later, I found out that I had won the black one just because I was going through a bunch of old emails. And I emailed the guy. I said, hey, what's up with the, am I still good with this thing? Or, I mean, if not, it's all good, whatever. And he's like, no, man, where you been? This is your bike. But all I need to do is verify. I need to send you an email to the email that's connected to this account. And if you reply there, then you're good. He said, because I've already had 2 people try to claim the bike impersonating you. They've even screenshotted your picture. Like, wow, that's scary. Said, but their email, they always say that something's wrong with their email's locked or whatever. He said, I'm not going to do it like that. So, of course, that was my account. He emailed me, I emailed him back, and then he said, okay, the bike is yours, call Electric, and I'll give them your address, and they'll send you a brand new one to your house. So, that's how I ended up with the black one. Yeah, that trike that they're coming out with, I want one. My wife ain't gonna let me get one, but I want one. Oh yeah, Irvin. Number recaps over there. I already know. But that was a steer tire though. They didn't do steer tire recaps, but everything else, yeah, for sure. Yeah, they've come out with a lot of stuff after that. The old man bike, yeah, pretty much. But they've come out ever since those videos. I mean, ever since that bike, they've come out from the regular XP. They've come out with the XP Lite, the XP 2.0, the XP 3.0. It just came out. The long range, the step-throughs, and now they're gonna do trikes. So that company has grown a lot from when we first started doing videos on that white bike. I have nothing to do. I'm not trying to take credit of none of that. That's I'm not nothing to do with that. But they've definitely. That's good to see an American company come up like that. Even though the bikes are, probably Chinese, but the company's American and they whatever. But yeah, and they even got the long range. That's the one I'm more interested in, the long range, and the one with the bigger motor. See, mine, I don't know if you got the XP or you got the 2.0. Well, mine, of course, doesn't have the what I want to have. I'm gonna probably do that soon. Is get the front suspension fork. So on my son's, what I did is I spun the handlebars around that way, because how the handlebars lean forward a little bit on that bike. I spun it around so it leans back now, and so he can really fit on it good now. And we took off the fender so it'll look a little more BMX-y style. So looks pretty cool. Yeah, look into them. I'm looking at it. I'm thinking I want one. I want to add a third. But yeah. But Alex, if you're still there, man, and you really want to get into droning, the flying drones, the funnest way to get into flying drones would be the FPV, because the other drones like the regular, what they call camera drones, there's only so much you can do with them, and you can't really go inside like things, and they're not real immersive, It's just you staring at your phone, or I have the DJI Mini 3 Pro with a smart remote, so it has the screen on there, and I have that just because I make videos, but I don't use it as much. I do like the fact that the camera goes vertical on that particular drone, and the reason I didn't, because I used to have the more expensive ones like the Mavics, the Mavic 1, 2, and 3. No, I didn't get the 3. But I quit buying those because I don't use them enough to justify that. So FPV is a totally different game, though. And if you want a window into the gateway into FPV, I would go definitely with the DJI Avata, not the DJI FPV drone, which is a bigger drone. I have that one. That's very fragile. First crash you have, it's over with. Now, you're gonna crash an FPV drone. It's not if, it's when. You're gonna crash it. And you want something a little more durable, and the Avata is more durable. It's not super durable like the carbon fiber ones, the other ones that are the more DIY ones, like the ones I have. But it'll get you in, it'll get you started, and the goggles that will come with the Avata will transition to the DIY ones. So it's a one-time purchase of the goggles. If you buy the goggles alone, they're like $650 for just the goggles alone if you get the new ones. And so you might as well pay $1,200 and get the whole drone with the little remote thing, and there's different modes where you can learn how to fly. And it also comes with a simulator program, so you can put the goggles on and simulate like if you were flying and you're not actually flying, right? And then you can graduate to start flying the drone. That's the easiest way and the best way, I think, if you want to get into FPVs. The only bad thing about the drone is that the parts, if you break it, you have to send it out to DJI so they can fix it, which is totally not a bad thing, but I mean, it can be. And if you get into the DIY ones, oh my gosh, that's a whole new animal. The flying is similar as the Avata, but it's a whole new animal because you got to kind of start learning programming. The remotes are different. It's a lot. I didn't know what rabbit hole I was getting into until now that I'm in it, but I love it. That FPV, and for me, FPV flights are for me like that's my way of just disconnecting from everything. I put on some headphones and turn on some tunes, and then just go flying. And it just takes you to a different world, man. And when you've got the goggles on, it's like if you're actually there, going through stuff. And when you start getting better and you're able to fly under and over and through things, man, it's amazing. I always wanted to become an airplane pilot, but this is a safe way to, if you crash, you're not going to, you're just going to be out a little bit of money, but, it's better than not being here on Earth. But that's my recommendation. But you don't have to follow what I say. You're your own man, and you have to do your research. But that's the easiest and the most effective, I think, to start. But so hopefully that kind of helped you out a little bit, Alex, on your decision. I promise you, if you get into it, you will be addicted. You'll love it. If you're kind of an adrenaline person, junkie or whatever, you're gonna love it. Your son's gonna love it. Like I said, it's gonna cost you. It's fun. It's fun, and it's good. You get to spend good time with your son that way and stuff like that. So just another thing that you can do with your family. My son flies a little bit. He's 9 years old, so he still hasn't completely grasped the concept, but he's flown the regular camera drones. But the FPV, not yet. But what I do, and that would be cool if we ever were to run into each other before you buy one. So I always carry 3 goggles with me. And the cool thing about those drones too is if you have 2 goggles, one of y'all are flying and the other one can have the goggles on. It's called spectator mode. And you can both, one of y'all, like I said, is flying, the other one's the passenger. And you can both see exactly what's going on. And I always carry, I carried 3, but 2 of them are the exact same, and they have to be the same to be able to work together. And whenever people ask me, what it's like, I said, hey, we'll put these on and you'll see what it's like. And 99% of the time, the people's reaction, they love it. They're like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. And all the other questions, is it hard? It's not easy to start. It's to get your mind to understand how the sticks work is not easy. And it's easier to learn how to fly FPV. I know, guys, this has nothing to do with trucking, but it's easier to get into FPV if you've never flown any of the other type of drones, because the camera drones, the control sticks are totally different. They look the same, but they're totally different than the FPV. The way it all works is totally different. So it's easier. It's kind of like a truck driver. It's easier to teach a truck driver a manual transmission whenever they've never driven a manual transmission, because they don't know better. It's always hard to teach somebody who's been driving a manual car It's hard to teach them to drive a manual truck because it's different. It's not the same as a car. So same thing goes with the drone, with the FPV. So it's easier to learn if you don't know. Open sesame. Made it to the yard. Get the old paperwork and go grab everything and get ready to roll. All right, guys, I'm going to leave y'all. Hopefully y'all have a wonderful, productive, safe day. Of course, I don't do lives while I'm on driving a truck, only in my car, for obvious reasons. But yeah, Alex, you have any other questions, man? Just let me know. Text me, email me or whatever. Message me. I got you. Child Tramp, thank you so much. Happy to hear from you again. Irvin, have a good one. Irving, Jay, are we hiring? Yes, everybody's hiring. Yeah, we're hiring. I think they just started hiring again. Yeah, so yeah, we're hiring. Look us up. Don't forget to put my name on there that I'm your reference. Haha. No, you don't have to do that, but yeah, come on over. Pasadena yard. We got a yard in Pasadena and one in Baytown. Awesome. All right. Well, y'all have a good one. Be safe out there. Be good. Don't get too upset. Be happy. Put a smile on. If somebody cuts you off, just let them go because it's not worth going back and forth with anybody out there. What do you say? Just give them my name, Jorge Navarro. Just put that on the reference. And the application it's all online, like everywhere else. If you want to do the ISO containers, you would go for the Pasadena yard. If you want to do regular domestics, you would go Bama Fox 1. What's going on? You're here at the end of the life. But welcome. If you want to do more domestics, go to the Baytown yard. Yep, those are. Oh, there's one in Beaumont too. I think there's a yard in Beaumont as well. But one thing I want to tell you is that you don't have to. None of these terminals have to be your home terminal. You can have a home terminal anywhere in the United States, and you can still live here. And sometimes some of those terminals have way better loads than the local terminal. So one of those things. Once you get out here and start learning which terminals have the best loads and what's more convenient for you, you can it's your choice to switch it up if you want. So you can do it that way too. A lot of different ways. There's always ways to, what do they say, different ways to skin a cat or something like that? Something like that. But anyways, all right, guys, I gotta get rolling. God bless all you guys. Be safe out there. Be productive. Like I said, smile, because being mad is easy, but smiling, it's not as easy. Peace. We're out of here. See y'all on the next one.